It's a Papa Creek Farm. I am outside on my deck with my tomato plants to talk to you guys about how to properly harden off your plants. Now, I have done it right in the past, and I have also done it wrong. And so I'm going to kind of tell you all the tips and tricks to get these hardened off properly so that you don't have transplants that are shocked when they go into the ground. Hardening off just means that you're taking plants that were grown under grow lights, even in just a windowsill, in a greenhouse, and you're acclimating them to being outside in full unfiltered sunlight. Now, these plants were grown in my basement. They were grown under grow lights, so they have not been exposed to actual sunlight until we start hardening them off. If I were to just take them from that environment and put them straight into the ground, they would be shocked completely. More than likely, they would become sun scalded, and they probably wouldn't tolerate any breezes or anything else because they haven't been exposed to it. The sun is the big factor, though, making sure that they don't get sun scalded, that they don't get damaged by that extreme sun that they're not used to. So what we do with our plants when we're hardening them off is there's two options, really. There's if you're going to have a hardening off week that is really cloudy, or there's if it's going to be a sunny week. So we've kind of had a mix this week, so we're kind of just making it work. If it's sunny, if you know it's going to be sunny, and your plants are going to be in full sun, you want to start them off with 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour on day one. Increase by an hour every day until you're up to 5 or 6 hours of sunlight, and then they should be hardened off enough. You'll notice once they start hardening off that their leaves will actually turn a lot greener, a darker, deeper green than they were under grow lights or even in a greenhouse. That's how you kind of know that they're hardening off adequately. If you notice they start to get a little bit of sun scald after being out for 5 or 6 hours, make sure you're bringing them in. So what I do is I bring them out on my deck here, I set them out for an hour, and then I bring them back inside. And I'm not bringing them back into my basement because I have 8 trays of tomato plants here, and then I'm going to have peppers starting soon too. So I am just putting them on my kitchen table for right now, and then every day I'm moving them out for a little bit of time. Now we're on day 4 or 5, and so they're going to be out for a good portion of the day today. If it were cloudy, you can actually leave them out for a lot longer right away. So if it were a fully overcast day, not breaks of sunshine, fully overcast, you can leave them out for 5 or 6 hours and leave them out for 3 to 4 days of that, and that's hardening off enough. But if it's full sun, you want to really slowly acclimate them. I've seen on a ton of gardening groups lately, hey, I transplanted my tomato plants out last week. This is what they look like. What happened? And the most common question, in the comments is, how did you harden them off? And more often than not, I see, what's hardening off? I didn't know I had to do that. So this is one of the most critical steps with getting your plants going. So just because they've grown inside and they look beautiful, and this one's a little puny, but they're nice and strong, I'm going to plant it nice and deep, and they're going to do really well. Just because they look like that, if you don't harden them off, they will die. They will not successfully grow. And that's one of the hardest, heartbreaks for new gardeners that have done all this work. They've started the seeds, they've nourished these plants, they've gotten them to be big and beautiful, and nice and lush and green and wonderful, and then they put them outside and they die. It's really hard. So making sure that you are doing the slow acclimation is really important. Now, last year was one of my years that I didn't do it right. I had 27 trays of plants, and I moved them all out, and I brought them back in once or twice, and then I just decided, nah, they'll be okay. I'm sick of moving them in and out. This is a pain in the butt. And we didn't have our deck last year, so we were moving them into the garden, which is a little way, a little bit of a walk. And then I was moving back into the basement, so up and downstairs every single day, twice a day with 27 trays. It just got tiring, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Overnight, I covered them with frost fabric, and then during the day, I was like, they're fine. They've been out long enough. Well, I lost at least 3 full trays of plants. It was very, very, very disheartening and very upsetting. So I will not do that again. I will not make that same mistake. I am really slowly acclimating these to the outside. I'm actually going to take a full week to acclimate these. I started doing these on Friday, and since then, today's Monday, they have been out, an hour more each day, and I'm going to acclimate them all the way through this coming weekend. I'm keeping an eye on the 10-day for after this coming weekend. Our estimated last frost is this Thursday, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's actually time to plant. We'll see. I'm going to potentially plant them out this weekend, but if not, I'm just going to continue to do this. I'm going to continue to bring them out for a good amount of the day and then bring them back inside. The breeze is really good for them. It helps strengthen those stems. Now, I've had some more weak stems this year because normally what I do is I plant them in soil blocks and then I pot them up and I pot them really deep, and then that helps get the strong stem. And I just didn't pot them up this year. I potted them initially, sowed them right into these 2-inch pots. So when I plant them, I will plant them very deep and they will do fine. But this breeze is helping strengthen. The sun is really good. Right now they're in the shade. They'll be in the shade for probably another hour and a half or so until that sun fully comes over, and we'll get them in full sun. And they'll be in full sun for 4 to 5 hours today. And after another couple of days of this, they probably will be fine to go out. But again, I'm keeping an eye on those mostly overnight temps that are still 40s, 50s. We want to kind of get above 50 ideally. So that's how you guys harden off plants. It makes a big, big, big difference in the hardiness of your plants and the survival rate of your plants. You may have 1 or 2 survive if you move out, 20 that you didn't harden off, but the likelihood is pretty low. So harden off your plants, do it the right way, take the time to do it. It'll save you a headache and it'll save you money in the long run. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Remember, we're growing today for a better tomorrow. Please like and subscribe and join me on the next one.